No, it was a good vacation. No, time to recharge and everything. And I mean, you went and did the videos and you uploaded them, right? You forgot. That's okay. We're back. Hello, everyone. Geriatric here with Geriatric Midnight Movie Review. I'm back, apparently, because, tonight it was the Blair Witch. It was time to go back after all these years. A lot of thoughts on this movie, and we'll get to them. So basically, this story is connected to the first one, not the second one, Blair Witch Book of Shadows. Basically, this one is about the brother of Heather from the first Blair Witch film, who, along with some friends, finds out that there's a video showing these people going through this house, and there might be an image of someone who could or maybe not be Heather. And so they go into the woods, which is always a bad decision when it comes to the Blair Witch movies, as you probably know. This movie is interesting because there's a lot of thoughts in this movie. I don't know if it was a good movie, it was a tension-filled movie, because there's always that expectation, especially when you have a sequel to one of the most innovative horror films to come out ever. And it just got to a point where the tension was so bad. Okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? But after the end credits, it didn't stay with you like Blair Witch did, the first one. And the cast is great. We have James Allen McCune, who plays James, the brother. One thing I do love about this movie is, much like the Blair Witch Project, is everybody, the actresses, use their real names, their real first names. And it gets to a point where, it's very hard. When the Blair Witch Project came out, found footage, it had actually been around. A lot of people think that the Blair Witch Project kind of started it. But, no, there were films that were purported to be real things. Cannibal Massacre, I believe, is one. The Faces of Death films, which actually turned out to be a lot of not really stuff. But the Blair Witch Project worked for a very simple reason, is that it felt real. There was always the conversation that you actually had with people about, was it real or was it not? Now, I knew it wasn't real before it even came out, because I remember reading in one of the entertainment magazines that, hey, this movie just premiered at Sundance, it's got a really great premise. Supposedly, it's supposed to be these three people. But the Blair Witch Project works a lot better than the Blair Witch, for the simple fact is that you went into it blind. You didn't know what was going to happen. And so it made the experience much more terrifying. But in the sequel, there are things that happen and you kind of know where they're going to go because you know about the Blair Witch. So that's hard. Another thing is you actually get to see her, the Blair Witch, in this one. You see very quick glimpses of her. And which is always a gamble. Especially, I know a lot of people didn't... used to, say, did that work in the Blair Witch Project, where you never actually saw the witch. You just heard her, or you heard what you could do. And it's like, is it a bad thing that they didn't pull back that curtain? And this one you do. You can get a glimpse of it. I still can't describe what she looks like, but again, I don't know if that works. And it's funny, because I was thinking, Paintivity saw it with me, and we were discussing on the way back about what would have made this movie scarier. Is it more witch? Is it less witch? Is it the more scares, less scares? And it's just very hard, because it's very hard to say, well, why wasn't this as scary? It was written by Simon Barnett, and it was directed by Adam Wingard. These were not the people who did the first one. The story apparently goes they were talking about it with the original filmmakers and said, well, why isn't there another Blair Witch? And they started to, the original guys actually do produce it. So, and it works, because I was full of tension the whole time. Because, you're thinking, oh God, okay, what's going on? And it's like the jump cuts scare you, because suddenly it's just bam and cut. And it's like, oh my God, it's like a shake. And there's no soundtrack. But as I said, it's just at the end I wasn't thinking about it. Like, the Blair Witch Project stayed with me. a lot afterwards, and I just don't know what this movie could have done differently. I might have to think about that. So do I recommend it? I do, especially if you watch the second one, and I'm putting myself out on a limb here. I actually like the second one, Book of Shadows, and especially once I found out later what they were trying to say about it. About mass hysteria and how people can be influenced by something that's not real. But see it if that will kind of give you a better, maybe cleanse your palate a little bit when it comes to the Blair Witch. It is funny though. After watching this, I kind of want to go back and see the original one again, just see why it worked. And maybe that can give me the answer to why this one didn't quite work. But yeah, go see it. Rated R. Now, a word of warning, if you have seen the Blair Witch Project and you think, oh yeah, that was a scary movie, I want to see this one, be careful. Language and much more graphic violence than the first one. Not to I guess, an extreme degree, nothing like Saw or Hostile or anything like that, but there is things, and it might bother you. So yeah, rated R, don't, leave the kiddies at home. But yeah, just it's a nice little trip back into the woods. Maybe it's not as scary as you remember, but there's still something out there in those woods. So this is Geriatric for Geriatric Midnight Movie Review, reminding you, if you're not going to the movies, then what are you doing with your life? I just don't see why you didn't upload the movies. You were supposed to go, and then you were going to be on camera. You were begging me the whole time to go on camera. And I give you the tools, 2 weeks, and you didn't do it. There was nothing. There's always something on, Gary. You can, if it's the Met, if it's anything, it's just... Can I tell you, honestly, all I need is some, recording thing to be a part of, because you know what? This right here, this is the original scary found footage show. Or the recent Evil Dead remake. She was the main character. And she's very believable. It's kind of interesting that you have a character whose sole motivation is an honorable one. She wants to get away from a family who is